G'day beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sparrow. We're going to look at her stats, her scaling, and my build that I use for her, which is a crit build. So sit back, relax, get ready for that, smash that like button, and get ready to subscribe and leave me a comment. But with that said, let's get started. Okay guys, starting off as we do, taking a look at her stats. Sparrow is a Marauder, Attacker, Sieger. She's a ranged carry. She has a basic attack of 10, ability attack of 3, 2 for durability, and obviously 1 for mobility. She's listed as an easy hero, but she can be quite difficult to stay alive. Looking at her stats, she starts off, like all rangers, 475 health, 64 per level to get 1371 health. Her health regen starts at 1.2 and ends up at 4.1. Mana 225 ends up at 897. Mana regen starts at 0.8, ends up at 2.5. Her armor as a ranger is 18, and she gets 2 per level to end up at 46. And her ability armor, like everybody else, starts at 20, ends up at 30.5. Okay, moving on to her basic attack, which is called Bowshot, a ranged attack that deals basic attack damage. Starts off doing 50 damage. She gets 1 damage increase per level. Her power scaling is 1, which means that for every 100 power you put on, you will get 100 damage, and her cooldown is 1.2. Her basic attack is very, very good. It's quite easy to get used to. It used to be a little bit weird on the lead, but it is actually quite nice at the moment. Moving on to the first ability that I take as Sparrow is Relentless, which is her passive. Successive hits on the same target deal additional damage. This effect stacks and is triggered by any damage Sparrow causes, stacks up to 5 times. Okay, so when you first get this ability, every bow shot will put an extra 3% damage onto that target. At level 2 it's 5, at level 3 it's 7, at level 4 it's 9% extra damage. It can stack up to 5 times, and you have 5 seconds for the stack to last. So you end up at max level doing an extra 45% damage per hit once you get to max stacks. And the stacks will stay on, as it says, for 5 seconds as long as you keep hitting. So you just end up doing disgusting amounts of damage. Now keep in mind, I run a crit build, and this Relentless procs off of a percentage of your damage that you do, not your crit, your actual damage. So a lot of people actually like running non-crit builds, and I will go into a non-crit build in another video, but for this we're going to be doing a crit build. But do not worry, this still is disgusting, and it procs, as it said, off of everything, so all your other abilities will proc this passive. Alright, moving on to the second ability that I like to take for Sparrow. It's Hail of Arrows. Sparrow rains down arrows in an area, dealing ability damage over 4 seconds. The ability damage is 40 per hit at the first level and 160 per hit at its max level. The power scaling is 0.25, so you're only going to get 25 extra damage per 100 power that you have on your build. The mana cost starts at 90 and ends up at 135. The cooldown is 12 seconds flat, and the duration is 4 seconds, as it said. Now this, as I said a moment ago, will proc your Relentless passive, so it's a really, really good ability because it actually, over that 4 seconds, it actually shoots arrows quite fast. So if you manage to land this on someone and they don't get it out straight away, you will be doing disgusting amounts of damage, and I love this ability when paired with Relentless. It's just amazing. It's what allows Sparrow to be an absolute powerhouse. So I take this second, and I would prioritize this just after the Ultimate and Relentless. I would go for Ultimate and Relentless as the main things that I'm prioritizing, and then this. Moving on to a next ability, Piercing Shot. While holding, Sparrow charges a powerful arrow that deals ability damage to all enemies in a line up to 2,500 units away. So just to give you a bit of perspective, Ranger's attack range is 1,600, so it's quite a ways longer, and it will actually pierce through anything in the environment. The ability damage that it does is 80 at the first level and 260 at max level. It has a power scaling of 1, so it's actually going to receive an extra 100 power per 100 damage per 100 power that you put on your build. The mana cost starts at 80 and ends up at 110. The cooldown is 8 seconds flat, and like I said, the range is 2500 units. So this can be quite disgusting. I generally run around about 170 power on my build because it's a crit build. So you will be getting an extra 170 on top of that, which takes it to 430, if my math is correct, really quickly, which is quite good. That's a decent basic attack. It's around about a Murdoch ult, and you can shoot it through walls, and it's quite devastating. And as it says, it pierces through everything and hits anything in a line. So you can actually use this to hit a minion wave as it's coming towards you to get an early start on it. Just pierce through a bunch of heroes, but the best thing to use this for is to pick off a fleeing enemy through a wall. Alright, moving on to Sparrow's ultimate, which is called Inner Fire. Every bowshot fires a triangle of 3 piercing arrows for the next 10 seconds. Side arrows deal a percentage of bowshot damage. Okay, so the damage dealt per arrow, that refers to the ones that are on the side. So at level 1, the 2 arrows on the side will hit for 50%. At level 3, they will hit for 90%. The mana cost is 50 flat, the duration lasts for 10 seconds, the cooldown starts at 90 and ends up at 50, so it's a really low cooldown, and it lasts for quite a while, and considering the fact that the cooldown on this actually ends up being the same as Silent Indignation, which is our lifesteal active card that we're going to be using to get a bit of extra attack speed. Every time you ult, you can use your Silent Indignation and get more attack speed because it does last for 10 seconds. It's not a certain amount of shots, it's the amount of shots you can get off in 10 seconds. So really the more attack speed you have during this ability being active, the more damage you're going to be able to do. It can at times be a bit fidgety and your arrows will sort of miss and go around either side of the hero, but it's really, really great in a team fight because you are putting down a hail of arrows, hitting a bunch of enemies, proccing your relentless and hitting them with your ultimate and hitting multiple enemies at the same time, just dishing out disgusting amounts of damage, and it is one of the main reasons why I love Sparrow. But that's it for her abilities, so let's move on to my crit build. Alright, here we are over at the build. I start off with my prime card being the Warlord. Gives you 100% damage versus minions to minions, so your minions will do double damage to enemy minions. You can take Archmagus or Centurion if you want, that's personal preference. I really think this is the best for rangers because you're doing the damage to the tower, so you want your minions to be more powerful. For consumables, I take Cast Token, Healer Token, and a Blink Charm. The reason I don't take 2 Cast Tokens and a Health Potion is because I want the Blink Charm on, and I hit 40 cards with my early game cards, so I take a Healer Token. Alright, so you're going to want to take your Blink Charm once you probably have 2 or 3 early game cards. If you're not in much trouble, don't really worry about taking it. But on to the actual build itself. Starting off, we have a Sage's Ward with 3 major casts. The reason why it's a 12-point card is because I like to make it very expensive because the fully upgraded bonus isn't very much, so we don't really care about upgrading this straight away. We want to get the rest of our cards upgraded first. Okay, so it's a crit build, so we have Blade of Agora as a crit bonus card. You could change out Silent Indignation and use your crit bonus card as your lifesteal card if you like, but I find it to be cheaper to get 20 lifesteal doing it this way. So as far as our crit cards go, we have one Spear of the Rifthunter with 3 major wounds, and we have another one with a wound and 2 minor strikes. So I like to hit 68% crit on my build. Someone mentioned that I should probably run 56% recently. If that's something you like to do, then switch this out for something else and get yourself to 56 if you like, but I think 68 is a great amount to be hitting. And I like to keep this really, really cheap so I can take it early on. So I end up with 4 early game cards, this being one of them, giving us 20% crit chance. Next up is Silent Indignation, which is our lifesteal and attack speed active card. We put a Greater Drain, 2 drains on this to give us 20 lifesteal. Now, keep in mind, you want to be using this every time you are ulting. The cooldown will be the same as your ult at max level, and it just allows you to do so much more damage. It doesn't mean you only have to use it for your ultimate, but make sure you are using it when you're ulting if you do have your ult on. Next up, we have Windcarver Blade, just to get a little bit of extra attack speed and some damage, so we put 2 strikes and a kinetic on that. I was running a Whirling Wand to get a little bit more attack speed, but I feel like Silent Indignation is making up for it. I'm getting quite used to actually using it now, so I've gone for a Windcarver Blade just to get a little bit of extra power. We're getting an extra 12 power at the end of it, which equates to 30 more damage on our crits. Okay, now looking at early game cards, I like to take 2 Adament Edges with 3 minor casts on each, and a Windcarver Blade with 3 minor kinetics. It would be great if her affinities allowed her to run a damage and basic pen cards, but she doesn't, so that's unfortunate. But those 2 Adament Edges, the Windcarver Blade and the Spear of the Rifthunter, will be your early game cards. Guys, I will get this in the description in written form for you. Just to potentially make it a little bit easier, but that is my build, and that is my guide, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, if you have any suggestions whatsoever. Subscribe for more Paragon content, like another build which I will be doing for Sparrow, which has no crit on it, which is going to be absolutely disgusting. But with that said, guys, as per usual, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.